welcome to the first episode of U.P.G sharing. With this series, I'm hoping to get more people to share their U.P.G. I know when I first got into paganism and heathenry, it was kind of tricky to actually find people willing to share their U.P.G, as there's a bit of a stigma, but it is kind of an important aspect of it to compare your experiences to others. Another goal of mine is to provide a platform for people to speak either openly or anonymously about their U.P.Gs. Not many people have actual platforms of their own, so I am hoping to provide one. With that being said, I plan on inviting people to actually speak themselves, or if they would prefer, I'm also going to give the option of people to send me their U.P.G and I will read it out for them. Again, either anonymously or open. Now, with all that being said, I would like to start off by sharing my U.P.G that I had with hell. So, firstly, it requires a little bit of build up to it. My dad and I went out to lunch together, and on the way back, we were reminiscing about my grandmother. My grandmother had suffered from Alzheimer's for many years, pretty severely, and she had also suffered for some strokes, and she kept getting out of her wheelchair, which would cause her to fall and injure herself. So it had came to the conclusion that what would be best for her would be to sever her tendons in her legs, so she would no longer be able to stand up to prevent this. So essentially she'd be wheelchair bound for life. Well, the surgery went fine, but the thing is, there's a bit of a phenomenon that's pretty known with people with Alzheimer's, that right before they pass away, they go back to acting just fine, essentially. And that happened with my grandmother. She was responsive, she was calling people by their name, eye contact, cheery, was able to hold a conversation, many things she hadn't done for years. That was the one night I decided not to go visit my grandmother in the hospital. She had been in and out of the hospital so much throughout my teenage years that it was almost a non-issue to me. And this is the time I decided not to go. The next day, as I get to the hospital, I'm arriving to her room as the nurse is going in to pronounce her dead. So I had missed that opportunity. It's always kind of been one of my biggest regrets in life, for obvious reasons. But my dad and I were talking about that, and I was getting a little teary. But my dad looks upon this memory rather fondly, as he got to say goodbye to his mother. I was still relatively new to being a heathen or Norse pagan, however you want to call it. And I decided that I would give an offering to hell that night. Firstly, as a thank you for giving my dad and the rest of my family an opportunity to say goodbye to my grandmother. And secondly, as an apology for ignoring the gift that was given. So I did the offering, did a little praying, and that night as I went to go to sleep, I'm not for sure if I was fully asleep, but I kind of feel like I was in that stage in between asleep but not quite. And I saw a body of a fox laying there, alive or dead, I'm not sure, but laying there motionless. And then all of a sudden, the fox raises its head, snaps it, looks right at me, and half its face is skeletal and decayed. I then snapped wide awake, somewhat shaken a little bit, kind of scared, but not more in just a, oh my god, what was that type, a panic, if you will. Now I have a bit of latent atheism in me, as that is my past as being an atheist. I looked at it, I'm unsure if I was half asleep or not, I can't be for sure. I know I may or may not have religiously primed myself through the prayers and everything. But I do know the attestations visually that I had seem to line up with hell. I know that I rarely dream, very rarely dream, maybe once or twice a year. So the chance of it being dream is rather limited. I looked at all those together, and I was still agnostically thinking it was hell. Now, I've talked and shared my U.P.G, and that's partly why I feel like this is important to do. And the more I have, the more I feel confident that it most definitely was, to the point now where I'm firm in my belief that it was definitely hell. And I have now since moved her more predominantly into my hearth cult, opposed to a god that was just there but not really acknowledged. And with that, that would complete my story of my U.P.G with hell. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope someone is encouraged to share. If you are, get a hold of me, whether it's Discord, whether it's YouTube, however, Twitter. I would love to help you share. So please, again, feel free to get a hold of me. And everybody, have a wonderful day.